Hey everyone, and welcome to another Sasquatch Theory interview. In this episode, we travel up north to Brumley, Missouri to visit with Shauna, and she's had some strange cryptid encounters and experiences on her family farm. The first portion of this video will be a podcast interview with Shauna, and the second part of the video will be me traveling up north to see kind of what she's got going on at the family farm. You would think a lot of the cryptid activity and paranormal phenomenon is only happening deep in the remote woods in the Ozarks and the Mark Twain National Forest, but the reality is this stuff is happening all over North America, all over the world, and it doesn't matter if it's a populated area. As long as there's woods around and there's a history of cryptid and paranormal reports, most likely it's still taking place. Brumley, Missouri is southeast of Lake the Ozarks, and there's actually a lot of waterways that pour out of the lake, and they say these creatures will follow the water, so there's a lot of that around here. If you enjoy listening to Sasquatch Theory, please like and subscribe, and if you have a Bigfoot encounter that you would like to share with me one day, please contact me at sasquatchtheory@outlook.com or message me on Facebook or Instagram. Alright guys, with all that being said, let's just dive straight into this next video here on Sasquatch Theory. Alright, Shauna, welcome to Sasquatch Theory. How are you doing today?
I'm good.
Good,
How are
glad
you?
to hear that. I'm doing excellent. Thank you so much for asking. Shauna, if you would, tell me a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and your encounter and experiences from the very beginning, please.
Well, my name is Shauna. I am from Miller County, Missouri. I live in a small town called Brumley. I originally grew up in Stoutland, Missouri, on a little dirt road called Carroll Cave Road. That would be in Pulaski County, Missouri. My first encounter was with a cattle mutilation that happened on my father's farm whenever I was 9 years old. We had woke up, and my dad was a school bus driver at the time for Stoutland School. It was early in the morning. He's also a farmer, so he would get up and feed the cattle. He came around the corner of the house, and then he started hooping and hollering for my mom, and we came out there, and there was a old cow that has outside of the fence that had been mutilated, and we just didn't know how it happened or anything like that. It had the eyes cut out and the tongue cut out, and its belly was slit and cut out, and there was no blood around. Well, needless to say, this has been going on for over 20 years now. I don't know if it's Bigfoot or if it's a being from somewhere else, but it howls, and it runs with the coyotes. It's like something you've never heard before in your life. I can't explain the how. I've been in the woods my whole life. My brother and nephew, they're hunters. They've grew up in the woods too, and even they have heard the howl, and it's something that they can't explain what the sound is. My very first like getting to see it visually was back in 2014. I like to go to the creeks. I'm an avid arrowhead hunter. I just love being out in nature, all that stuff. It's really therapeutic. So I had been sitting there at the creek all day. I like to go by myself. I don't have a lot of people to go with me. And I heard something, and it was that howl again. And the next thing I know, it stepped out of the wood line and had sit down about 30, 40 feet from me. I was so scared. I really couldn't, I couldn't really speak or move because I was in disbelief of, am I really actually seeing this? It crawled on its all four and then got into the water and was coming towards me. it scared me so bad that I mean, I finally was able to like run, and I remember just running down the creek. I was about a mile from where I had my car parked, and I mean, I was just running through the water, and that's hard, doing it. It wears you out. But finally, I got to my car. I took off, and I was just so scared. I couldn't hardly tell anybody what had happened. That night they're asking me, well, what's wrong with you? And finally the next day I came out and told them what I seen, and uh, you know, and whatnot. But it scared me so bad I couldn't go back to the creeks for almost 3 years. I took every rock and everything I ever found back to the creek the next day and left it all there. It was like, oh my gosh. And I couldn't hardly get out and go to the creeks because I was so scared of what I had seen. Well, since I love the creeks and everything, and after a few years, I'm just like, okay, well, maybe it was just a bear or something, but it wasn't no bear. Uh, I started going back to the creeks, exploring and whatnot. My dad has rented an 800-acre farm to run his cattle on there in Hawkeye. And Dean's Creek runs right through here, through the farm. It's a beautiful creek. It's got a lot of different, a lot of limestone, a lot of different, a lot of artifacts really coming through there. That's good for picking. And so I like to go there, and the I think it's where this thing may. I know it sounds crazy, but maybe portal in and out. Um, the trees there in the forest they're something like makes a like a vortex kind of like looking structure out of the trees there, or it'll just push over these big huge trees and then create an X in the woods there, all over the place. I don't know if it's marking its territory or what it's doing, but it one night there I had a fire going and whatnot, and it was me and my friend. He's a non-believer and everything and whatnot, and so you know but the next thing he shines his flashlight up, and we have the eye shine up there, and it's a reddish orange eye shine. uh I've never seen one like that before, and it was up on the creek bank, and something just told us we had to get out of there. We were not safe at the moment, and we uh we left out of there. Another time is down at Swinging Bridges in Brumley, Missouri. Uh, there's an access that you can go up the road on C Highway there. It's called Toronto Springs State Park. And you can get back up in there and everything. Not a lot of people. There's never really anyone up in that state park, but it goes all the way down to the Swinging Bridges, and it's a fairly big state park. I think it's around 1,800 acres in that little area back there. A lot of restricted areas and everything, I noticed. And the restricted areas, you can't go past that sign and everything, but we took a float on down to the it took us about 8 hours from the Toronto Springs to the Swinging Bridges on that float. And I tell you what, when you get back in there, it's something it's like you're not even in Missouri. I've never seen anything like it. It's still wild, still untouched by man, I want to say. It's just nobody's back there, and there's you feel it, and you just see the difference of just it's like ancient. The forest is it's different kinds of woods than what you would in your how can I explain that?
So it's like a completely different habitat.
Yeah, yeah. Um, there's hieroglyphics back there. I found on one of a cliff wall a footprint, with 3 toes on, it's about, I mean, it was huge, and it was on the cliff wall, and then next to it, are these number 7s, and it's just something back there is definitely not of this world. You can, like, it'll throw rocks at you back there. I've had them do that. It takes your shoes. My belief is, when you're on your last shoe, you better hurry up and get out of the woods, because it gets your other shoe, you're done. I mean, I don't know. It's just, that's kind of a crazy little thing I go by, but I mean, I believe it. I think it has it either comes in and out of the cave systems here in Missouri, because we are the cave state. I know that we're on the the 37 latitude, which is like the paranormal highway. It runs right through the area. There could be so many things to what it is. I've seen different ones. I've seen, it's kind of blackish hairy. It does not too much chimpanzee looking, but kind of. And then there's another one that's kind of orangutan looking colors, like orangish brown. I don't know if it's the same creature, or if it's different times of the season and their coats change colors or whatnot.
Can you run me through those experiences or encounters? What were you doing that day? Where were you at when you saw them?
Well, my most experiences with them are on Deans Creek, which Deans Creek is a stretch from Crocker, Missouri, all the way down to the Wet Glaze, which runs into Lake of the Ozarks. It's a very long stretch of creek, and that I'm in different parts of that creek whenever I have my encounters. I've seen. I wish I had my friends with me here, because they've had their own encounters with me, and then they can tell their part. But I'll just do it for them. My friend Johnny and I were on Deans Creek. There's a lot of different caves down there, and all these caves have not been, explored by the, Missouri Cave Society. So they're always, the creeks are forever changing. So there's caves that will open up, or close back up, that you won't ever see again, because the creek will cover them up, So you only have like an annual opportunity to get in there and see, and explore it. So that's what he likes to do. And he wanted to go down to this. It's probably about a mile down from the first bridge access off of Deans Creek that we were on. And we saw, what we saw was this. It jumped up off the creek bank up on the abatement, which the abatement was probably, over 6 foot high at that time. It was, the thing is, it had a tail. It had a kind of like a long bushy tail. But then it ran off, and that kind of spooked him out a little bit. And so, we went ahead and left. The other encounters on Deans Creek is, I'm so sorry.
Oh, you're fine. Take your time.
It's hard for me to talk. Most of the time, I get photographs. I can get a little bit of photographs of them, but they never come out clear. And they don't make me feel comfortable. So whenever I have the feeling, or and I see them, I'm the girl that's, I'm ready to go the other direction. I'm not, I don't want to run after it. I don't. um, because I don't know what it is, you know. Um,
Yeah.
I believe that I mean, it's here. I don't.
So
If you can just, I
you
don't know how to
saw the
explain
creature
it.
with your eyes though, not just like taking a photo. Like you've seen him, correct?
Yes, yeah, I've seen it twice in my life.
Okay.
Yeah, with my eyes. Yes. Uh, I've the other ones that I've taken a couple of friends on that float from the Toronto Spring float all the way down. Uh, like I said, it's a 7-hour float, and you know they they seen things whenever they were with me during that float. I didn't see it, but it's just it happened so fast that you question yourself. Did I see that or did I not? Uh, I think it's fast. I've had accounts where it just runs right past you. Uh, you won't see it, but you'll hear it, and I mean, it's super fast. It you know it. Have you ever heard of like these? I don't know. They say they're the owls in the woods, but the owls. I've never heard owls sound like monkeys. They'll do this, you know, where they sound like just a bunch of monkeys in the woods, and they're like, "Well, them are owls." I'm like, "Well, I've never heard owls, you know, be like that." And speaking of the owl, I don't know if this it can maybe change like into as something else, because there's an owl, of this thing. It acts weird, and this thing, it stands probably maybe about 3 or 4 feet tall. This owl does, and I've seen it several times, and on Dean's Creek, and it's just, I don't know. I don't know if it can morph into an owl or it changes into different cryptids or what. I don't know if we'll ever be able to catch it, is what I'm saying. I
Yeah.
don't know if it's of this world. If it portals in and out. I know that this is the area, Pulaski County, Miller County, Leclerc County, Camden County. It has magnetic anomalies, um, in Missouri, and that's whenever you have a place like that, that's always there's more, phenomenon going on in an area like that.
Yeah, I agree. I've heard a lot of people talk about shapeshifters, and it's hard to say if there's something like that going on, possibly.
Well, Carroll Cave, I believe that something's going on that's bigger than what you know people can possibly imagine. Uh, with Carroll Cave being in the same area as all these phenomenons going on, and with MUFON Missouri being at Carroll Cave in the area, I think that's something to look at. Also, the Indians back in the day, the Osage, this was their area. Whenever they split up, there was 6,300 people in their tribe, and the Osage, they their religion was, I think it was the Wahazi, the water people, and the Hunka, which was the earth people, and then the Trishi, which was the sky people. So you had the Osage Indians that did these mass rituals around here, uh, you know, that split up into like three, and then did three different rituals for all one thing, which was the water people, the earth people, and the sky people. In this area. Uh, I mean, there's something big. There's something big going on. I believe that our government knows about it. I I believe that it's extraterrestrial. So
Yeah. So the MUFON organization has been doing research in that area.
they have. Uh, they were sent out to. They won't disclose the actual location of it, but they call it the Marley Woods of Missouri, which they said is a section of you know rural Missouri, a small section. And if you look up, magnetic anomalies in Missouri, there will be a map, and in this map, is the Iberia area, the Brumley area, Lake Ozark, St. Elizabeth, Richland, Kaiser, uh, I believe. Oh, what's that little town?
Like Swedenborg.
Yes, yes, that's what I was trying to say. Yeah, in that area, and I mean, I believe that is the little section that MUFON is, talking about, and plus, Rick Hines, which is part of MUFON, Missouri, is in Carroll Cave. You can, YouTube that. He's doing live expeditions through there, and just do your research. I mean, if he's here in the area, and what he stands for, I think it's something. It's something probably pretty big.
Yeah, I agree. And the creature that you first described, can you talk a little bit more about that? When we first started the interview, you said you saw a creature by the creek.
Yes, that was back in 2014. That was my first eye account. Like I said, from my whole life, I've just ran these creeks. I always felt safe in the woods, and I mean, I would go way, way, I mean, down deep in the woods. Just loved it, and I mean, I still do. But I don't know if whatever it was just got used to seeing me in the woods or in the area for so long that it felt comfortable enough to, just come out and sit down not too far from me. You know, um, I didn't like it. I didn't like the way it looked. I felt like you couldn't really see its face. It had a more like a crownish head shape.
Hmm. Like a point, like a conical shaped head.
Yeah, yeah. Whenever it's down, and me and it, we sit there and looked at each other for, I mean, a good almost what probably a minute and a half, but which seemed like so much longer to me because like I'm starting to panic. Um, and like I said, it the way it crawled into the water and started coming towards me, is nothing that was it. It looked demonic almost. Um,
About how
I don't.
tall was this creature? How big was it?
Um, it wasn't very big at all. It was maybe 4 to 5, maybe 4 to 5 feet tall, in between 4.5, 5 feet. Uh,
Okay. What color was it?
it was brownish black, long hair, long shaggy hair, like really long. But it's like I said, you really couldn't make out its face, but I could make out the forehead of it, and like it was like a crown.
Okay. Do you think it was a juvenile Sasquatch or some type of other cryptid, possibly?
I'm not sure. I think it could have been. It could have been. I think if anything, it was. I think it was a Sasquatch. If anything, that one was, yeah. Uh, and I believe that the Sasquatch. I think it howls. The howls that I hear and are the Sasquatch too.
Okay.
And
What did the howls sound like? Can you compare them to anything?
um, it's like a wolf, but not. It's so much more deep and long and just drawn out. Um, and it's just so loud. It gets your attention, and every time I've heard the howls, I'll hear it. It runs with the coyotes, and you'll hear the coyotes. I mean, you know the difference between the coyotes and anything else that's out there. And when this thing howls, it's like I said, it just it's like a wolf, but like a big wolf. Um,
Like a deep
one that
guttural. howl.
Yeah, yeah, and it's just drawn out. It's just so long, and it, it just echoes throughout the forest, and the hills. Like it bounces off. Uh, it's scary.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And all these creeks that are running off the tail end of Lake of the Ozarks, do they have running water, or are a lot of them dry?
They have running water. They're natural springs. Um, the uh, the 800-acre plot that my father rents for his to run cattle on in Hawkeye, Missouri. That right there, there's natural springs coming up out of the ground, out from the woods back up in there, and it's so they look like ponds. I've gone back there and looked at them. They look like ponds coming up out of the ground. And they're so pretty, but they actually are what makes the creek. And there's another one that's coming out of a cave there. And I don't get too close to the cave. Nobody wants to go with me there. So if I can find someone to go with me, I probably would. But
Yeah, it'd be cool to explore that cave. And did you see any eye shine? Well, I guess you did. You talked about how you and your friend saw the reddish orange eye shine on
yeah,
the creek bank. About how high
yes,
up was the eye shine?
it was about around 5 feet, 5 to 6 feet.
Yeah.
You
And
know,
this was at nighttime, correct?
right? Yeah. So it was standing up on the embankment. It wasn't in the creek, but it was up on the embankment by the creek. Whenever he, shone his light up there, and he's a he's a Lake Ozark boy. He has never really been around a creek, so he's like, well, that's just a deer or something. And I'm like, no, deer eye shine aren't red, and there's not supposed to be any kind of animal that has a red eye shine that I know of.
Yeah. So do you think these creatures are somehow connected with the Native Americans?
I do, I do. Like I said, the Osage, well, there was a mound that, let me see, it was okay, it's the Madden Ford Mound. They tore it down, which I have no idea why. If you want, you can go on. If you go on to the Miller County Historical Museum page, and on the president's page, you go on and you put in Madden Mound, Miller County. There's this massive mound over in Iberia that they had tore down in the early 1900s, in which I really don't know why, because like this should have been, this is something to note. I mean, this mound was as big as the Cahokia mounds, and they had the MU and university come in and like I think it was in the 1930s come in and like excavate it, and they said it was like a ceremonial mound. I mean, this thing was massive. I'll send you over a picture of it. Um, but they had tore it down over the years, and then they just don't talk anymore about it. But that mound could have something to do with what's going on too in the areas. Uh, I don't know why they, didn't. That should have been a historical site and preserved, but it wasn't. But this thing was pretty big, and like I said, the MU came in and they went through it and said it was a ceremonial mound, and then they allowed the farmer that owned the field at the time to go ahead and plow it down over years. So
Yeah, maybe they found something there.
possibly.
Yeah. And the hieroglyphics, like what kind of writing did you find exactly? You said it was like sevens and some type of formation. Was it on a cave?
Yeah, back there in the is the Toronto Springs area. That's where I would put in a float down there. It's the one that, it's a 7-hour float. But whenever you go through there, there's, all these cliffs and everything. And we would stop and we'd get out of our canoes and, check everything out. And there's 13 caves back there. After I got off my boat and was able to do some more research, not all 13 of them have been explored, but I think it's only maybe 4 out of the 13 have. And these things, they're big, they're huge mouth caves, and back there's like these big cliffs back there too. I mean, they're pretty high up, but on them cliffs, or where I have found, the footprint with the 3 toes that's been carved into the wall, the 7s and the ones. I got photographs. I can send them over to you.
Yeah, absolutely. So does the MUFON organization think that Sasquatch is somehow tied in with the UFO alien phenomenon?
I don't know anything about them. If they do, I just know that they're in the area and that they are, uh, doing the Carroll Cave expeditions. So, being what they're about, and the Carroll Cave expeditions, and how that being the second largest underground water cave in Missouri, that, all the map that they show, I mean, all them caverns run underneath us, you know. Um, I think that, anything's possible. I think it could, I think it all runs in together.
Yeah, possibly. So there's a ginormous cave system underneath that area.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah, that
It
makes me
is massive.
wonder
Yeah.
about like underground bases, and you hear this about like Dulce, New Mexico, that there's this underground base where the aliens do autopsies like on people, which is kind of a little bit different than Area 51, where people are doing autopsies on the aliens.
Right. Well, considering that, it's forbidden, and the government has, we've seen lots of Black Hawk helicopters, flying around in the area around the Deans Creek area and back in the Toronto Springs area, periodically, almost every year since 2014. They cut. Whenever I look up Deans Creek online, it says that it's inaccessible because it is the Fort Leonard historical route. So.
Yeah, that's interesting. I took a Bigfoot report from Swedenborg, Missouri, where a guy was at his fishing pond and he ran into a female Sasquatch with a little juvenile, and then he got chased out of there by a male Sasquatch. And he claims that this orb showed up above the Sasquatch's head, and then another orb showed up, and the thing just disappeared. And he's a UFO researcher. I don't know what it's called, like a ufologist. And he really believes that it's all tied in, which it really could be, because a natural animal of this planet would not have those types of abilities like you hear regular researchers talk about. It's just an unknown primate. There's nothing special about them. They can just hide really good. But I don't think so, because these things have these abilities that people talk about all the time, as far as like cloaking, the orbs being associated to them, the paranormal activity, UFOs being seen in the area. There's something strange going on, and I think there's a reason why the government won't talk about it.
Yes. Along with, there's a lot of light ball activity that, comes along with, all my that we've seen, especially here recently in the land in Brumley. Uh, it's so active that, I mean, I just don't know. I've almost about ready to call, MUFON, Missouri, and make a report because of the light ball activity on the land in Brumley. There's no other way to explain it. There's no other houses around. There's just, it ain't nobody out there in the woods, and this thing, it sometimes it can light up the whole wood face, and then the light balls will start going like all around us, in a fast direction. but they're in between the tree line. They're not above the trees and they're not on the ground or in the middle.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I've seen them before several times, and actually not too long ago, I saw one streaking through the woods, and there's no roads, houses, or highways back there, and it's like down in the creek bottom, and it was
Right.
moving fast.
Yeah. And they always seem to want to be going towards the water.
Yeah, yeah. I've
I
seen them all
noticed.
by water.
Yeah. And they they knock out trees. They'll take the tops off of trees. I can show you where. I mean, this one that came through. I mean, it knocked out almost a good half mile of tops off of trees. Um, there'll be parts where the trees are burnt on top, but not on the bottom. Um, it's I don't know what it's definitely. I'm not sure what it is, but it's. I mean, yeah, I think the government knows that there's. I mean, there's something back there in the area.
Yeah,
And I don't know if it's leading up to something, maybe bigger that we should all know about, maybe or or what it is.
yeah. It's most likely the portals, vortexes, doorways, whatever you want to call it. And I think it's a global wide phenomenon, and it's been happening for a very long time, according to ancient history. If you look at different civilizations, they talk about this same type of phenomenon. And I liked your theory that you were talking about as far as the X structures and the arches being created by a vortex, which I've thought the same as well.
Okay, good. Yeah, it twists the trees. But the way that these things are twisted, they should have broke, but they don't.
Yeah. And what else have you experienced in this area? Do you have anything else you'd like to share?
Um, no, other than that, that's pretty much, the basics of it. The like I said, the structures. I don't know if the upcoming eclipse has anything to do with, like, the X's, all the X's, because it puts an X right through Missouri, and there's all these, strange structures of X's popping up all over the woods. I don't know if it has anything to do with it either. So
Yeah, it's hard to say. Those X structures are found all over the place, even like in Canada or Alaska.
okay, well, good. That makes me feel better.
No, that's a
in
great theory,
in
though.
some weird way.
Yeah. And
Okay.
what was your latest encounter? Like, how long ago was it? Is it recent?
My Yes, my last encounter was it was a cattle mutilation in Iberia that was on my father's farm. We had two over February that uh they just popped up dead. But what was weird about these is that whatever it was had removed their top teeth, and it had never done that before, but it took out their teeth and their tongue this time. And all the other times, it was just doing the eyes and the rectum and whatnot. But this time, it's starting to remove more more body parts and organs. I've noticed.
Yeah, and what do you think is doing that?
I'm not exactly sure. I think it's the same thing that's coming in through the vortexes, because where the cattle mutilations are, there is signs of of the tree structures. Where the cattle mutilations happen, there's always you can see a tree structure and real close by. You
Okay.
know,
Yeah. And do you have any photos of this? I know you said you were going to send over some stuff to
yeah,
me.
I
Okay.
do.
Okay,
Yeah, I'll
cool.
send them on over.
Yeah, and in the future, anything you find, make sure you take photos and videos of everything.
Okay,
Yeah.
I will do.
Okay. Do you have any questions for me? Anything that you'd like to ask?
Uh,
Okay.
so you believe that that the vortexes and portals are opening up to you, maybe?
I think that's a possibility because whenever I first
Yeah.
had my encounters, I just thought, man, there's unknown creatures living out in the woods, and there's nothing special about them as far as the paranormal. And then I started experiencing more things as far as like UFO activity, paranormal activity in the house. And I was like, all right, something strange is going on. Like something's not right.
Right.
Yeah, but I do think it's connected somehow if there are portals and vortexes. And
Right.
yeah, I mean, even scientists have talked about other dimensions, and I do think it's a possibility.
Well, I'd like to find out, you know, what is going on. Because, I mean, the woods are different. They were different from what they are from whenever I was little, you know.
Yeah.
I can say that because they have a different feel to them nowadays than what they used to.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you ever want to get up to that area, show me some of these encounters, maybe go on film and talk about them. Let me know, and I'll drive up there and we can explore around where you had these experiences and encounters and see what we can possibly find.
That would be great. That'd be really great. Yeah, I'll shoot you over my photos and everything, and yeah, you let me know.
Okay,
See
cool.
what we can find.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Shauna. Well, I appreciate you for getting in contact with me and telling your encounters and experiences here on Sasquatch Theory. And yeah, you have yourself an excellent day.
Right, you too. Bye.
All right, bye.
Um,
So what do we have here?
I'm not sure what they are. Actually, there's a whole bunch of them. It goes all the way back.
Okay.
All the way back. I guess it's a landslide. I don't know. Looks like they're stacked on top of each other.
Yeah,
Oh,
that doesn't seem too natural. Maybe it is, but it doesn't seem like it.
You don't think?
No, I'm saying it seems like it's man-made or something.
Well, yeah, it looks like somebody stacked them on top of one another.
Yeah, it absolutely does. Have you ever found anything here in this area?
I usually don't dig around here.
No.
Yeah, because it goes all the way out, and there's a bunch of overhangs back here, and there's a lot of you know, you can see back there where there's so many nappings back there.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. What do you think created these rock structures? That's what you call it, right? Is a rock structure?
I guess so. That's what I call it.
Yeah. It definitely seems stacked.
Could be, I don't know, a glacier landslide, or it could be the giants. It could be, I mean,
Yeah.
it could be a pyramid, an old pyramid.
Yeah, something strange. I'm gonna check it out a little bit more.
Yeah, you can walk wherever you want.
Okay. That one kind of tipped over the side.
Yeah, that one fell over, which is interesting.
Was it stacked up as well at one point?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yep. So, like, how did that fall over, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is unusual. And this one seems like it's stacked up too.
Yep. Yeah, they were all stacked up as we go.
You think there could be a correlation between these rock stacks and the giants?
Yeah, and maybe Sasquatch.
Yeah, that's true.
Like a portal, you know. I think these is quartz, a lot of it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's some strange feeling rock there.
Yeah, it looks like quartz. Quartz and limestone, maybe?
Yeah. Maybe it would be worth digging around here at one point. See what you can find one day.
Like my whole life, I've, you know, I don't know, just something about it. I've never really dug it right up in this area.
Yeah, that is strange. They do seem like they're stacked up. And if it is natural, I don't see how they got cut.
Right. Oh, you want to see a perfect cut one that's cut in half?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, let's check it out.
All right. So that way we can either walk it or we can ride over there and go up.
It's up to you. Whatever you want to do.
It's up to you.
Oh,
It's your show.
How far away is it?
Whatever this thing is. These darn things. Sorry, Miguel. What you get?
Is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah. See?
Okay.
Where it's been, I don't know, I guess it broke or what? Or it's been, I don't know.
Yeah, that is interesting. Definitely a neat area. And the split looks pretty even, so it's hard to say if it was broke naturally or what happened to it.
There's a tree growing out of that one.
Yeah, this one looks like it was split apart at one point.
The old house up there,
Yeah.
can't live in it. The water runs red.
Really?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
It's got a bunch of iron oxide in it,
Oh, okay.
I guess. You know, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's what my father said. But
Okay. So there's a lot of spring water around here?
this is a natural spring right here in front of you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Where does that come from?
There's well, it's Dean's Creek. It comes out of a cave
Uh-huh.
way up yonder.
Okay.
Yep.
Pretty good size cave?
Oh, it's pretty good, yeah.
Okay, cool. All right.
It's
Well.
a long ways.
Is it?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
When you say right over there.
Well, it's about, I don't know, probably 10 miles from here.
Oh, okay.
Where the mouth of it is, where it's coming out. There's other caves on the property here, but that's got water coming out of them.
Yeah.
There's ponds, natural spring ponds that's popped up back there. And that's where I seen my first one.
You want to go back there and do an interview?
Yeah, we can.
Okay, let's do that. Okay. And then you can show me around the area. We can go get some lunch and then hit up some other spots.
Here since so.
It's been a while?
It's been a while.
Okay.
Yeah.
You nervous?
A little bit.
To drive or because what's back here?
Because of what's back here.
Oh, okay. So nobody built this? It's just natural?
Yep, it's natural.
Okay. All right, so how long ago was it whenever you had this encounter?
It was in 2014.
2014? Okay. So basically, what were you doing that day when you were back here at this spring-fed pond?
Well, I was back here arrowhead hunting.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, just, you know, I like the woods and I like to explore them and just, you know, see what's in them, you know.
Mm-hmm.
As far as, I like to look for native things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're back here exploring, looking for arrowheads, and where were you exactly whenever you saw this thing?
Well, I was walking from back behind you, and I stopped right around there, and I could see.
Okay, so it was back there on that corner.
Okay, well, what happened? Oh, it's right there. All right. Okay, so there's a piece. I bent down. There's a piece right over here, okay, that I found. And I bent down to pick it up, you know, and I heard this strange, like a big boom almost.
Like a thud or a thump?
No, like a boom.
Boom. Okay.
Yeah. And I looked up, and it came out right there, and it sit down in front, like right over there.
Okay, so at the corner of that pond?
Yeah. Yeah.
What did it look like?
It's blackish brown, and its head was like,
Conical shaped?
it went like that, and then again, and then down.
Okay, so do you think it was a Sasquatch?
It's something that I maybe. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How long was the fur?
I'd say probably about maybe that long. It was like kind of matted a little
Okay.
bit. I couldn't really make out his face.
Uh-huh.
I didn't move. I was completely still, and it seen me, and it crawled. It went down on all fours, like, you know, and then started to come right that way up towards me, and I couldn't move. I couldn't move. I was like very frightened, and I finally, you know, within a second's time, and just things, you know, it's starting to come towards me, and I just dropped my my backpack, and I hightailed it, and I ran all the way up that way through the woods.
Okay, did you have the side-by-side when
I
you were out here?
didn't.
So you had to run all the way home?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What time of year was that?
It was in August.
In August?
Yeah.
Okay. You said 2014?
Yep.
So it seemed like the creature was coming towards you?
It was. There's no doubt in my mind that, I mean, yeah, it was.
What do you think its intentions were?
I didn't feel like it was good.
Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah.
And are you pretty nervous being out here?
A little bit. Yeah, I'm kind of shaking right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you think they're out here?
Yeah. I do.
Okay. And you couldn't see its face, correct?
I couldn't make it out, no.
About how big do you think it was, though? Like, how tall would you say? Was it on all fours the whole time?
No. Well, after I heard that big boom sound, yeah, no, it was on two legs whenever it came to the edge of the pond right there, and it had like kind of like crouched down, and then like it just, I don't know, it looked over at me, and then it was like almost like a contortionist.
Okay.
Whenever.
Like a spider crawl,
Yeah.
contorted kind of
Yeah.
awkward movement. Okay. Could you smell anything when this happened?
No, I don't remember.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you think the boom was, though? Did it come from up in the air, or did it come from the ground level?
More of, it was like almost like a sky boom, like a sonic boom that they call around here. You know, it was, yeah, very unusual, and but like more like closer to the boom was like, I don't know how to explain it, Miguel.
Okay. No, I understand. So maybe this creature was getting water, do you think?
Yes.
Okay. So did it come down this trail, would you say? Whenever you saw it?
It's almost like the thing appeared out of nowhere.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say, I mean, because, like I said, I'm right back there. I'm crouched down. Okay, picked up a piece. Like I said, that boom. And then from back there, I watched, is like he stepped out like this, you know, and bent down, you know, like that. And then, you know, I don't know if he sensed me or could, you know, smell me. I don't know. But I just remember he looked over. I remember him looking over and then going like that.
Did he go into the water?
Yeah.
Okay, so you could hear some splashing.
Yeah.
And then that's when you took off.
Yeah.
Which way did you take off? Up that way?
Yeah.
Okay, going up that trail. Yeah. And it probably followed you for a little while, maybe.
I looked back and I thought that maybe I seen it. And to be honest with you, I fell down onto my knees and I started praying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And
What did you pray? Like, don't get me. Don't let it get me.
I said, dear Lord, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry for everything I've done, but I don't know what this is. And if I'm to die today, please forgive me for my sins and take my soul. And I said, please don't let this thing get me. Please don't let this thing get me. You know, and
And then what happened?
I said amen and got back up and I looked around and like I didn't see it, but I could still feel him.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just bolted, kept on running. And something told me, don't look back. You just don't look back. If you don't look back, you're going to be okay. And that's what I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a long run.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Did you get hurt on the way back?
On the way, when I was going through there?
Yeah, on the way out of here.
I got smacked in the face with tree limbs and stuff, you know, because like but other than that, no.
Well, it's a good thing I didn't get you.
Yeah, I'm glad it didn't get me.
Yeah. Is this a part of the land where there's a lot more forest?
There's more forest here than what there is over there.
Okay.
All this back here there's a bluff back here, and then there's another cave up there.
Mm-hmm.
Between here.
Okay.
It's a fresh water source. I don't know if they are not from, you know, a different, you know, world, then I think that they reside in the caves, and they come out every now and then.
Yeah, very well could be. Did you make a noise whenever this creature saw you, or were you pretty stealthy back there? Like, do you remember like stepping on a rock and it made like a sound, or you broke a branch, or?
No, like I said, I bent down to pick up the arrowhead, and I was, you know, I just picked it up, and so I was checking it out. I was like, oh, score, you know, and and then I heard that boom, and I didn't, you know, like I felt kind of back on my butt a little bit, you know.
Yeah.
And, and like I said, you know, and then I didn't move because like.
So it wasn't like a ground stomp. You're saying it was more like a sonic boom? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Right.
Yeah. All right. What else has happened back here? Anything else?
Howls.
What kind of howl did you hear?
I've never heard it before in my life. Whatever it was, it runs with the coyotes. And you, of course, you know, whenever the coyotes are, you know, out hunting at night, and, you know, they all howl and, you know, yelp and make their little noises and whatnot. And its vocals were louder, stronger, more drawn out. I mean, it was so drawn out. And it,
Like a werewolf?
yeah. I don't,
Okay. That's what you told me earlier. So.
yeah. I guess that would be, I don't know what it sounds like, but it's definitely not anything that,
Like that?
that was nothing.
What was it?
And that, it was way worse than that. I'm talking like, yeah,
Okay. Well, what was that, a coyote?
yeah,
Okay.
probably. Yeah. But it runs with them.
Yeah?
Hear a coyote during the day, probably knows we're here.
There's something around here. Did you break this branch?
Yeah, I did. I broke that one. Yeah.
Wasn't sure. So, you were going to live up at that house back there on that farm, on your farm property, but you heard that howl.
Yeah.
Now you don't want to live back
I
there?
don't want to live back there.
Okay. But whenever you said it runs with the coyotes, do you hear the coyotes go off and then you hear this howl?
Yeah, you'll hear the coyotes, and while you're hearing the coyotes, it'll do it.
Really?
Yeah, and it like I said, it's way more intense than the coyotes. It's more like it's how is like, you know how we heard that one, you know how like it's more like it's expand maybe, like how would I say that?
Like it's deeper, guttural, and it carries off
Yeah.
like farther.
Yeah.